So one year, I took a year off teaching and I went to go work somewhat sort of a corporate setting. And so before I started my job, they wanted me to manage because they were like, you're a teacher, a lot of people that we hire here, blah, 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 your experience is going to be this, whatever. So my training was actually, carried on by a former executive at a telecommunications company that had retired, had no need for money, and was just working with his buddy in this particular business. So he was basically doing my training. At the time he was doing my training, I was asking him all these questions, right? And I asked him, I said, so what did you do? Why are you like some important guy in your field? He said, well, I transformed my entire company before AT&T bought us out for about $1 billion. I said, what did you do? He said, I increased customer satisfaction. They gave me the job to make sure that the customers were happy. And I decided that we were going to go ahead and find a way to do it. Long spew, gives me some secret sauce. I'm not even interested in sharing it on YouTube today. Screw that. But I realized that same, business implementation is exactly what the gaming industry is seeing right now. I made this video, if you play on console, to prepare you for how to take advantage of that because Xbox is about to take some serious advantage of this. Benny Yang here on our comment section said something. He said the core gamer always has changing preferences. LOL. Went to a high school graduation. Let me find the comment. The comment is running away from me. There it is. Went to a high school graduation recently, and all kids were making fun of me for having a consoles when they all play on PC. LOL. Even all my cousins are all on PC despite being console lovers in the past. Ladies and gentlemen, remember I told y'all that the landscape in terms of the ownership of hardware has been changing drastically for a while now. And the new generation of kids that are coming up are PC gamers. Those of us that have played maybe, on the old style gaming setup and such, we probably have maybe made our move to the PC and maybe we are adopting some new technologies. But I think what's happening is Xbox is about to change up the game and redefine what a console is. They want to make that thing called a console blur its lines between the difference between a PC and a traditional box. And they're going to, in fact, they're already doing it with Project Canon, where Asus is making what I think is the very first iteration of this thing. They're the ones that are going to take one for the team. Xbox doesn't have to do anything other than say, sure, here's our license to go ahead and brand your own hardware, Xbox, and appeal to some of our high-end gamers out there, people who are willing to spend money on the Xbox ecosystem, and then talk about it and see how it permeates through the entire zeitgeist. With that in mind, as somebody who may be asking a question, so what does this mean for my Xbox and my library of games? I want to let you know that what this is doing is this is opening other libraries of games for you. And it's time for you to probably start getting used to having multiple libraries where you actually have your games. Not because I'm saying sit down and shut up and take it, but because I'm saying that on the PC ecosystem, what happens here is that the means of distribution is decentralized in different ways, where everybody is looking to capitalize on the dissatisfaction that's felt anywhere else. For instance, on this PC side, we have multiple storefronts. We have Epic Games. What is their logo? I'm just going to use their logo emblems. Epic Games looks like this. Just forgive my drawing, okay? Shut up. Valve is this. Good Old Games it looks something like this. Some weird. Anyways, GOG. Yeah, whatever. Okay? And then you have, the Xbox app. So the distribution in terms of the main players, these are big guys that take everybody's games and even put their own games, depending on where, you're looking at. This is kind of like the distribution means in terms of that. Then you have other small players that get access to their different keys and their different whatever's like CD keys. This is what we call, the distributors here. Green Man Gaming. These guys are like, and then you have other gray market players, different names over here and, everywhere. So if Xbox opens this ecosystem for you, what you're going to find is everybody here looking for where the customer is not happy. So let's say this is the customer. The moment the customer feels a sense of sadness, they all want to come in and say, hey, we can make you happy. Customer satisfaction usually can correlate to the increase in value of a company in terms of how customers view them, patronize them, and trust them. So this constantly happens in the PC ecosystem, that if one person goes rogue, somebody else is there to capitalize on exactly what your distrust of that particular player might be. Xbox wants to open this ecosystem for their Xbox gamers to come in here and deal with. And what this means is you're going to have to actually tweak the traditional sense within which you understand, gaming. It's just how it's going to have to be. You see, us that play on PC, some of us, a good number of us, we've come to the terms that we're going to capitalize on whatever is being done right in the PC gaming space. For instance, every single store has its, has its signature, thing that it does. Epic Games is free games every single time. This company is somehow copying games for everyone. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know whose arm they're twisting. But if you fire up Epic Games, you're going to see free games. I have an entire library where I can't tell you how many games I've actually bought on this darn thing. I haven't bought many of them. Is there a thing that separates what I purchased or what I didn't? Okay, nothing. But they're just games everywhere. AAA, AA, indie, middle, whatever it is. Good quality games. In many cases, these are games that probably didn't sell much, or games that sold so much they were willing to, give free copies, and Epic Games was going to compensate them. That is Epic Games' signature. They also have some consumer protections that is similar to Steam. Basically, Steam's refund policy. Steam has a nice, beautiful, glittery refund policy that basically protects you. No questions asked. You play this game, I think if you play less than 2 hours, you refund it, they'll give you your money back. No problem. Now, if the developers hide something inside of the game after a long while, then, you start praying for their food to get cold while they're eating it. That's these guys. Good Old Games, it's DRM free games. Update later. Right? This is where every game that you buy here, you have access to downloading the game's ROM, where it's an offline installer, and you can install the game without any online connection. You can install the game DRM free, and you're good to go. Does that make sense? Everyone's here. PlayStation's here too. Xbox is, some of Xbox's older games, like the ones that came from Bethesda, they're here. And more third-party publishers, are looking to add these games. Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War Definitive Edition. This particular game now is going to be coming pretty soon. They're adding more and more old classics. So a lot of people that like collecting physical media, you can download the DRM-free version of the game into a physical media of your choosing, and you have access to them. So this is the signature of the top three that I just showed you. Epic, Valve, and Good Old Games. Right? Now, Xbox coming into this ecosystem wants to play and feel like a ubiquitous, synergistic piece of the puzzle. They got their console thing going, no problem. But they want to play, in this particular league. So they're coming in with their own proposition, which is Game Pass. That's their signature thing on the PC ecosystem. On console, it also is. But when you look at the big three and say, what do you have to offer gamers? Epic says, we give you free games and we could surprise you and blow your socks off. In fact, we could make you regret, why did I even buy this game? Because Epic just gave it to me for free. Yes, that's the kind of thing we want to do. GOG is like, we'll give you DRM free games. Valve is, we'll protect you. We're not going to let these, third-party publishers mess with you. Xbox is, we'll give you value. You won't even know why. You'll be suspicious. Someone made a video the other day, said that, Game Pass is a trap. Yes, that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to trap you and make you suspicious at the same time. Well, I guess. Or they're trying to give you value, right? And you can be suspicious all you want because it's a big corporation. There might be a play behind it. You can maybe play your chess game in your mind and such. So those of you that are playing on console that are looking and saying, okay, what is my 2,000 Xbox games going to look like? Oh, yeah, there's some of you that have 2,000 plus Xbox games. Some of you have hundreds. 400 is another one I saw in the comment section. Yes, I did see these numbers in the comment section. What does this look like? It's time for you to embrace other libraries. Like the original comment that I cited when the video started, as a core gamer, your preference can change, but in many cases, if you don't really know what the other ecosystem is like, perhaps there's nothing wrong in maybe actually trying it, seeing what's going on there. And honestly, you don't need any commitment, right? Because you can come in for the free games that are given on Epic Games. You can start copying them. If Xbox were to get a device that you can access PC from, you already have a library of PC games to play. See what it looks like. See what it feels like. Check it out. Assess it. Right? That's it. Now, I only showed you just these 4 because they're kind of like the big names. But by and large, PC gamers like myself, and not all, but some folk like me, we have access to other libraries that I didn't even tell you about. One of my, libraries that I actually have my games on is Ubisoft. Right? Ubisoft has a launcher. Ubi Connect or whatever the heck it is. I don't know what it is. It's somewhere in my PC here. Right? Ubisoft Connect. That's the PC platform for Ubisoft. Do I even have it installed here? Maybe I may have removed it. Ubisoft Connect. I don't have it installed here? Ooh. That's crazy. This is my production build anyways. Right? And so there are so many other aspects to it. Then there's the EA launcher. Sometimes you buy some keys and they're cheap, right? Because you want to play the game. You're more interested about the game than anything else. So if you're on Xbox, it might be time to start looking at those possibilities. And keep in mind, emulation is a thing. So if you've had these games for a long time, you can play them on a PC. In fact, you can emulate most of them on the Xbox as is. Even though there are past titles that are probably not compatible, if you get what I mean. So the paradigm shift is starting to happen. Once Project Cannon gets executed, there's going to be basically a trend and a shift, and going to be a lot of players running into trying to maybe adapt themselves to this. But how about the gamer? Has the gamer adapted yet? That's a question that no one is asking so far. I say that a player can adapt. Not saying must adapt. I'm just saying perhaps maybe look into it. Because your library that's on your console is not going anywhere. But it might be time to embrace new libraries that have a value proposition. Not just a rando library that doesn't give you anything. Like EA Play, I'd say you can live without it. In fact, I'd say you should live without it. Ubisoft Connect, I'll say you should live without it. Yes, they're bringing their games to Steam anyways. So Steam is here to basically back you up. Am I right? They also have their games on Epic. They have some of their old games on Good Old Games. But yeah. Just wanted to make this video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.